We will be underway here in just a moment as both these players sitting here at 5-1. Round number 7. Here from Columbus, the boss will start with Misty Rainforest. Tropical Island is what he will be searching for. And we'll see exactly if he wants to lead off with a creature, perhaps a little cantrip action. And it'll be a Noble Hierarch. Back to Peter we're going to go. And of course, you know, Peter, you have to imagine knows what he's up against. Tom always plays the same deck.
Yeah, probably not playing against Bant right now.
Yeah, probably not. As here's a Delver of Secrets. It is likely not a Bant strategy. Over to Ross we will go. He will draw a card. Oddly enough, Tom has the one of Piracy Charm in his hand. Sure, why not? What a delight that is. Here's a Glistener Elf, there's a Wasteland, there's Piracy Charm. Sorry about that, whammy. +2, -1. Oh, we got a reader here, Mr. Tragos. Well, not much of a surprise there. We don't get to see this one very often.
So this card showed up a little bit at one point as a response to Dark Confidant. And in this deck, it can kill a bunch of one-toughness creatures, like you just saw, Delver of Secrets. Also, it could be a pump spell.
Tom, with his one-ofs, or as we like to call them, fun-ofs, the one of Piracy Charm and the one of Wasteland, setting Peter back all the way back to the Stone Age.
This is all sorts of trouble here for Peter. And hilarious for me and you and viewers at home. So,
a Polluted Delta will be sacrificed. Peter going to go on 19. He'll search up the land here. You know, Tom did write a great article about the power of the one-of and just kind of the way one-ofs are perceived in deck building.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the time, like, kind of a negative connotation of what the heck is that doing in there. I imagine people look at Tom's deck list, and right now they see the one of Piracy Charm, and they say, okay, I'll cut that for a third Force of Will. I don't know why he's playing that, and kind of move on with life. But it's there for a reason, and it's definitely having an impact on this game.
Ben Rubin, Hall of Famer, brilliant deck builder. One time I was arguing with him about he was playing a 4 spike in one of his decks, and I said, that card seems like a 4 or a 0. And he said, no card is like that. You have 60 slots in your deck. Each individual slot tilts certain things in one direction or another. There's no right or wrong answer to these in the abstract.
A Berserk, a Vines of the Vastwood, and Inkmoth next to the cards left in Tom's hand. Gataxian Probe, of course, allowing Tragos to see this. You saw him lead off with a Monastery Swiftspear for the turn as well. So the trigger from Prowess will make that into a 2-3.
So again, Tom threatening a pretty fast kill over here.
Mm-hmm. His deck is known to do that, after all. See if Peter wants to attack. Looks like he's slowing down a little bit here. See him write down the cards, trying to figure out, do I die next turn? He will attack here.
The problem is that Peter's alternative play is just to chump block, and I don't think that's acceptable either, so he has to risk it.
And also, is Tom going to go for it as well? Because he needs to draw a green source of mana to be able to do this in the first place. Vines of the Vastwood plus Kicker, and then Berserk. So, you know, looks like Coast is clear. Just a little bit of infect damage here. Tom will get his beautiful infect token in play. 2 counters there for Mr. Tragos. There is another copy of Glistener Elf. I'm just going to pass the turn back. Vines and Berserk, the grip here for the boss.
So lethal with green and maybe just lethal with the beatdowns.
Yep. Gataxian Probe.
And Peter doing this instead of casting the Young Pyromancer because he's aware he needs help.
Excuse me, it's actually a copy of Brainstorm. My apologies. Cards do look a little similar here. Those 2 cards will be going back on top in just a moment for Tragos.
It's one of the things about Infect. It causes you to make some unorthodox plays because you might die so fast.
Yep.
And I think that Peter may have been paid off for going with a Brainstorm here because I think he's picked up a 4th Bolt.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Just one of in his deck, too.
Tom can get a little bit creative with the Vines in his hand, but we'll see if Peter has the necessary interaction. Looks like a land is going to go back among other cards. Daze as well. So Brainstorm is done resolving. There is a Polluted Delta. Sacrifice that. Go a little lower. Though his life total doesn't matter all that much. All he cares about is the infect damage. He's at 16.
I don't know if I've seen Tom win Au Natural yet with Noble Hierarchs. I don't think that's occurred.
I've heard stories of it happening, but I haven't seen it myself. Perhaps it's time for that 4th Bolt. Yep. 1-1. Now, what's interesting here is how Ross will decide to use his Vines of the Vastwood, if he will at all. It looks like he will. So it'll take care of one Glistener Elf, but that's one less Vines of the Vastwood that Tragos has to worry about.
Although we're back in a spot now where Peter, he's just committed to a pure damage race. Can't really sit back on defense and chump block. And Tom has the option of ignoring it altogether by just flying over the top of the Nexus.
Well, there's a healthy attack for 3 there, as long as he doesn't remember his triggers, of course. 1 for Forked Bolt, 1 for the Brainstorm. Ross draws a card for the turn. This game may have another copy of Vines. Tom deciding if he wants to maybe move in with Vines here.
Well, Peter couldn't fight over it last turn.
Yeah?
Stands to reason he can't fight over this turn. And mana's at a premium.
Here's an attack. Yeah, there's the Vines. He can play around Daze. And if Tragos has a card like Force of Will, it's like, okay.
Gonna have to get through that at some point anyway.
Yeah. So Tom making his move. And this is what's so great about watching him play this deck, is he's so good at picking his spots with the pump spells.
Yeah, so many people get hung up on trying to assemble the kill all in one turn, when in reality you can space it out over several turns in certain points.
Because look at the game now. Ross is at 14, and he's got an Infector on the ground, but more importantly, he's got the Inkmoth Nexus back there. And that's really the problem card. Here's a Brainstorm. So 3 cards coming for Tragos again. Looks like he's found a Lightning Bolt among them. So he's got to put a couple of cards back here in just a moment.
I mean, I don't think he can really follow up with anything else this turn. He only has the 1 land. I don't think he has another land in hand. And I think he just has to leave up Lightning Bolt. He can't tap out.
I think I agree with you. Might actually have to hold back that Swiftspear on defense, too. And that thing always wants to be in the red zone. Yeah, just has to pass the turn back.
Because he has the ability to play an instant now, it's a lot more appealing for him to leave back on D because, well, he can make it a 2-3 inside of combat, and then Tom needs some sort of trick.
Misty Rainforest was the draw. The other card is a Berserk. Tragos knows about the Berserk, doesn't know about the land, though. Saw it from a Gataxian Probe a little bit earlier. And if you're Ross, you have a feeling your opponent has Lightning Bolt. The question is, how do you go about beating it?
Well, I don't think it's acceptable for him to send the Glistener Elf in, because that's likely to die inside of combat just through the Prowess trigger.
And it doesn't even have to be Lightning Bolt, too. It could be, Brainstorm or something else,
yeah.
you know? Some sort of instant speed spell. But I'm just going to send it in. There's a block. Here's a Bolt. He's going to go after the Glistener Elf. Just wants to make sure that it dies.
Okay, that's fine. He gets to trade. This way, he gets to trade a Glistener Elf for a Bolt. And the Glistener Elf is the least valuable because there's no evasion. So it's the easiest thing for Peter to block.
Time to go cantripping again. Here's a Ponder. It is a little interesting because he could have fired away at the Noble Hierarch that turn, potentially, with the Bolt, if everything does go right.
But I think Peter has to view it from the perspective of Tom's not making that attack with nothing. So I probably need to ensure myself a little bit, try to play over the top of a pump spell.
There's Probe. Show you Berserk on a land. Information, always nice to have in Legacy. And Tragos doesn't care about his life total. You can see the velocity of this Blue-Red Delver deck, where it's just a joke how easy it is to get Treasure Cruise online.
No surprising this is the deck best suited to enable that card.
Yeah, it's so easy. Back to Ross, he'll draw cards, copy of Daze. That might allow him to go.
Naturally, the kill.
Yep.
To the surprise of no one.
Yep, there's a Bolt. Yeah, Tom. Yep, Daze it. And has the mana to pay for a Daze, obviously. You can see that. Tragos doesn't have Forcible here. He's pondered and brainstormed a bunch and drawn cards with Probe. He'll Daze back. Tom will pay. And Peter will pick up, I believe, his permanence. Yes, he will. Tom Ross going to win game number 1 here over Peter Tragos. A timely day is going to get the job done for the Infect player. And Infect up a game here over Blue Red Delver.
A lot of interaction there for Peter. I mean, he found a fork bolt and 2 of his lightning bolts.
Yeah.
And Tom still was able to slog his way through it.
We'll take a look at the sideboards here. We will start with Peter. What's he got?
A lot of good action here. He's got 2 Grafdigger's Cages, 2 Blood Moons, a Grim Lavamancer, 2 copies of Electrickery, 3 Pyroblast, 2 Destructive Revelry, 2 Flusterstorm, 1 Spell Pierce. The Spell Pierce, the 2 Flusterstorms, the 3 Pyroblasts, and the 2 copies of Electrickery alongside the Grim Lavamancer. Big upgrades.
On Tom's side, a Piracy Charm. First one was so good. How about another? Along with 2 copies of Hydroblast, 2 Force of Will, Spell Pierce, 2 Corrosion Grip, a Sylvan Library, a Caracas, 2 Necropede, a Submerge, a Grafdigger's Cage, and a Treasure Cruise.
I like the 2 copies of Necropede a lot in this matchup. A lot of 1-toughness creatures on Peter's side of the table. I like the Piracy Charm for similar reasons. The 2 copies of Hydroblast as well.
Like the Cruise at all?
I think that I would prefer Become Immense in this matchup. Maybe you're supposed to make the swap post board no matter what, just because if Peter's sporting in anything, it's going to be more removal, more attrition, more staying power. So maybe you're always supposed to bring in the Treasure Cruise, but I think that Become Immense has the possibility of being good here as well.
All right. Well, our players will shuffle up for game number 2 here. We'll be underway in just a moment, but for now, we will talk about Cardboard Crack, where we have not 1, not 2, but 3 paperback books available.
The extremely popular Magic the Gathering-based comic strip comes to you in paperback form and on sale right now at Star City Games for $12.99 a piece. As I just mentioned, 3 books available. You're going to head over to starcitygames.com/cardboardcrack for more information.
Sweet comic. I follow him on Twitter. You should do the same. The Royal You.
Yeah, Royal
Make sure
You.
Clear. A little confusion yesterday about that. So
Right.
The Royal You. That's Patrick and each and every one of you. Check him out. Awesome, funny stuff. Again, available at starcitygames.com/cardboardcrack right now. Game number 2 going to be underway here in just a moment between Ross and Tragos. Ross, he's on playing earlier this morning in the semis of our Standard Open, was dispatched by our champion, the young master, Steve Rubin.
An impressive performance, to be sure.
Maybe a descendant of Ben Rubin.
I don't think so. Rubin's a fairly common last name.
That's true. You're not wrong.
It'd be quite the coincidence.
It really would be. There are a few, it's a real shame. There are a few who know about the skills of BR.
A master.
Yeah, he's one of the Hall of Famers who doesn't really play very much.
Yeah.
We don't really see, I don't even know the last Pro Tour he played in. Because I played against him at the 3rd Pro Tour Honolulu.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the last time I've seen him. I don't know if he's played at a tournament since then.
I don't know. I saw him. He's sort of a nomad now. I saw him briefly about a year ago.
Okay.
He said, I'm in town. I would like to go down to the park and throw a football around. So I met him down at the park. We played catch for a bit, and then he was gone.
Did you guys also play freeze tag or?
Nope. And I'm
just catch.
I'm not making that story up.
No, I believe you. That's the best part.
That's literally called me out of the blue. Said I want to play catch. We went and played catch and talked about things for a bit, and then he went off on his way.
Well, you know what's nice? He has someone he can call who knows he would like to go play catch with.
Right.
You're the guy.
I'm a pretty reliable. If you want to play catch, especially with a football, I'm a reliable person.
Will you do this with a basketball as well?
Well, catch,
excuse me, sorry, baseball.
Baseball. I don't have a glove. I was about to say, catch with the basketball kind of sucks as a game. I'm not sure if you've ever played it, but it's just not great.
Well, and perhaps with the baseball?
With a baseball, yeah.
Okay. Do you throw around the frisbee?
I'm really bad at it.
I'm really bad at frisbee, too. I don't know how people do it. It's really hard. I played ultimate frisbee like some in high school, but I was the worst player by so much.
Okay.
It was really bad.
I've got great hands, but I'm not very good at throwing frisbees and footballs and that sort of stuff.
Gotcha. Yep. Playing catch with a basketball, probably not the most fun thing to do.
It gets old quick.
Do you have any interest in kicking around the soccer ball?
I have started playing pickup soccer.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice. Looks like Peter's on a mulligan to 6. It will surprise some people. I played soccer for 15 years.
I nearly twisted my remaining good ankle last week. It was a scary moment. Ended up fine, but
slow down. Slow down on the grass. Let's see, a Daze, 2 Brainstorms, a Blighted Agent, a Vines of the Vastwood, a Pendlehaven, and a Tropical Island. It's a shame. I played soccer for so long, and I love playing it, and I just can't watch it.
Sure.
It's just, I don't know what it is. It's not boring, but it's not great.
I love the World Cup, but I don't really...
I do enjoy the World Cup.
Not going to really watch too much past that.
Little can tripping. It's a ponder.
Oh, so I was trying to find out the source of this tropical island and what's going on with it. It's for destructive revelry.
Nice. 2 of those on the board. It's a little spice.
Yep.
Ross will draw a card.
He drew Become Immense. He did leave it in.
I'll catch you off guard.
I'm really hoping now the game comes down to that. I hope there's some counter war inside of combat where Peter has some bolts and Tom's able to play over the top of both of them with a Become Immense.
Just a nice little one-off. Here's a Brainstorm by the boss. Looks like Peter wants to fight over this. Yep, Spell Pierce. Ross will draw a card. It's a forest. We know he has a Pendelhaven, too. He's thinking about it. There it is.
Yeah, he wants to conceal one of the draw steps because he got probed on the first turn and the forest is a mystery, so he doesn't want to reveal that.
Blooded Agent's in. Chain Lightning going to send it away. Tragos does have a Lightning Bolt in hand as well. We'll just pass the turn back over to Ross. Ross will draw a card. Verdant Catacombs is what he's found. Yeah, he might be thinking Brainstorm here. He's going to play the fetch land first. And there is the Brainstorm. Good to go. So 3 cards coming. Inkmoth Nexus among them. See what Tom decides to put back here.
Noble Hierarch as well.
Yeah.
But the Nexus is the big prize here. Peter can't kill it with a Wasteland. There's none on his list. So he has to play against Tom on Tom's own turn, and that's very hard to do.
It's very scary when you're playing against Infect. They can just kill you out of nowhere. Something Tom has been making a living off of recently. Looks like the Forest is going to go back. See, he's got a Misty Rainforest in his hand. He's already played his land for the turn, though, with Verdant Catacombs. Might be considering both lands and hanging on to become immense.
Well, he is. As you can see, that graveyard filling up now. Got a fetch land. Brainstorm's in the graveyard. Got a Daze going to cast at some point. It's coming.
Noble Hierarch going to come into play. Back to Peter we go. He's got a lot of reactive action. There's a Ponder. Take a look at the top couple. Force of Will among them. One thing this deck has no difficulty in doing is drawing cards.
That's for
finding
sure.
what it's looking for. That's easy for this deck.
But I think Peter really needs to find some action, some pressure here. Because trying to build up a reactive hand, and Tom is so good at building up a hand that can play over the top. And these blue-red Delver decks, they're constrained on mana. They only have so many lands in their deck that once Tom decides to pick a fight, it's going to be really hard for Peter to win, even if he saves a lot of disruption.
Down goes the Verdant Catacombs on the upkeep. We're also searching for land here. And there is Tropical Island.
Now 4 cards in the graveyard.
We're getting close to becoming immense.
Oh, yeah.
Ross will draw. Noble Hierarch number 2. Perhaps we're thinking a little regular damage this game. There's the Inkmoth.
A little mix and match?
Yeah.
A little column A, column B?
We'll just pass the turn back. Tragos will draw a card. There's a Brainstorm. 3 cards here for Peter. Two cards going back here in just a moment. The one thing he is missing, as you mentioned, though, is just pressure. He's got a lot of reactive elements. You see the Lightning Bolt. Chain Lightning is going to go back along with Daze. Force of Will over there. Looks like a couple copies of Flusterstorm in the grip.
It's a bit of a sign of trouble once Peter's at the spot where he's shuffling back Chain Lightning. It means his hand is a little bit glutted. And that's not where you want to be against Tom. Because he'll be able to sculpt a hand most games that can win a big battle in one turn.
There's a Tarn. And pass it back. Force the draw here for Ross. Let's see if he wants to fire up old Inky. Hierarch. Yep. It's alive.
And this is the problematic card for Peter in the matchup here because all the engagement on this occurs on Tom's turn. Can't space it out.
This is going to be an interesting little battle here. Lightning Bolt's going to target this. This is, again, with the Exalted triggers on the stack.
With the Exalted triggers on the stack, an option that Tom has is also the Pendlehaven still.
Yep. He's just going to cast Vines normally. Could have kicked it there, electing not to. The jockeying for position here is so interesting.
Yeah, and Peter's defenses are getting worn down. And Tom really hasn't even really done that much over the course of the game thus far.
Peter's going to sacrifice the Scalding Tarn. Going to go get himself Volcanic Island. Now, had Ross made a move in response to that, things would actually be going great for him. It's tough to make a move in response to that, though.
Yeah, especially when he has the option to kick, too. It's just so... What's going on over here?
There's a Flusterstorm.
I think Tom got him. I think he's going to be able to...
I think he got him, too.
I think he's going to be able to become immense.
Yeah.
With
so Bolt's still on the stack, right? Yep. I think he's going to Pendlehaven. Yep. This is unbelievable. Now he's going to cast Become Immense. So there goes the whole graveyard.
Oh, man.
Peter has... this is unbelievable.
He's got four... Well, you better force a will this here, Peter, because you're dead otherwise.
This is unbelievable.
He got... Never going to get tired of watching Tom do his thing.
There's a Force of Will. Yep,
yeah.
Days. Yeah, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's counting. Okay, one from the Nexus, one from the Pendlehavens, 2. 6 from...
Peter,
yeah, what can you even do?
What are you going to do?
1 from the Nexus, 1 from Pendlehaven, that's 2. 2 from the Noble Hierarch triggers is 4, plus 6 from Become Immense. That's it. You can't even be mad. You can't even be mad. He's smiling. You can't even be mad. You're playing against just a master with their deck. You can't even be mad.
I wonder why he didn't kick the Vines there. Oh, of course, Become Immense.
Yeah,
I know that.
Duh. What else could it be?
And Tom can't even crack a smile.
Nothing. There's nothing.
Just another day at the park.
I could watch him play this deck all day. It's unbelievable.
Clocks in at 9 a.m., clocks out at 5 p.m.
Yep.
Just doing this all day long. Unbelievable.
6-1. Couple rounds left to go. We'll see if he makes elimination rounds yet again. He is just incredible playing this Infect deck.